Good morning, guys. Welcome to the next video. No matter what anyone wishes to say about me, good or bad, and there's been lots of support so far, my life is definitely unquestionably an interesting roller coaster with never-ending change, and nothing is ever really good or really bad for more than a couple of days before everything just incredibly transforms again in some way that's unimaginable. Okay, so I have to get ready to go and do the community men's shed thing so I can keep doing my building and make my wooden frames to do my paintings and try and sell them professionally. Not for the first time, not a brain dead dream for the second time. I can consider myself a professional artist. I did paintings in the past before I met my wife and sold them for nearly $1,000 each, and I thought that recovering from my disability, continuing to go along for the next 8 years with my wife, I actually thought that maybe there was a bit of Rain Man from that movie with Tom Cruise, Rain Man, inside me in relation to the painting. And when I recovered and I wanted to think about getting into the painting again, I thought I probably couldn't do it. I thought, nah, that was probably the disabled dude in the past who was much more heavily intellectually disabled, and because that poor guy I view in the past had nothing better to do but to sit and rot at home, similar to what's happening now, he just kept painting non-stop, and that suggestively was his only thing he did, so he became really good at painting. Again, speaking figuratively, looking at myself in the past. So I thought those sort of painting skills now, 8 years later, or 10 actually, after my wife has ditched me, being with her for 8 years, I thought, no, I won't be able to resume that form of painting, I won't be that good again. But I was wrong. And the best way that I could possibly be wrong, the excellent way in which I was wrong, is that when I went back to my paintings, I was shocked that the quality of my paintings was better than the Rain Man of before. So it's excellent. Again, greatest apologies for those that don't have any idea what I'm talking about. I've done so many videos now, I don't really bother with the intros much anymore. But if you find anything in this video interesting and you want to know what the hell this guy's talking about, go back to the beginning and watch in the beginning when, with my severe short-term memory disorder from the removal of a brain tumor and learning to speak again and so on for the second time, huge redevelopment. Still going. The first major parts took me like 4 years before I could even talk properly again. And with the severe short-term memory that will be lifelong, the asshole landlord of where I was staying that my wife booted me out into, keeping 100% of our son and 100% of our marital assets we acquired in 8 years together. Yeah, the asshole in the flat just had enough of me one day, and he said, I'm just going to kick you out on the spot, and because of your no month's notice, no fortnight, not even a week. And he thought he could get away with it because of my intellectual disability and incapability of doing paperwork, making claims, contacting the police, making reports. So he thought that he could just make me homeless and no one would give a shit because my wife had ditched me and so on. But the NDIS was an amazing coincidence that came forward and probably spent a minimum of $8,000 worth of taxpayer money with just things like the hire of a movable van for 3 days and 2 or 3 staff members every hour of the day helping me shift houses because I had quite a lot of property. And yeah, it was shocking. Now I'm in this new address behind me. It's emergency accommodation, and I'm trying to get my life back on track. And I was homeless and had to sleep in a car for 2 nights, I think, and then the NDIS provided me with a form of emergency accommodation, staying at a motel for 2 nights to organise a place, and then I get this place behind me they help me out with. Beggars can't be choosers, but the house is the oldest, the shittiest, cracking, falling apart, darkest, freezing house I've ever lived in my lifetime. Even the shit housing trust houses at Elizabeth were a bit better than this, and the place is so old it's got an old 1950s burner in the backyard where you would chuck your rubbish and just incinerate it in your backyard. Anyways, back to current subjects. I did have some excellent news of late. I had a complete mental breakdown for my son's birthday. His 4th birthday, just a bad memory, dude. I can't be sure, about 7 days ago now. It's freaking me out with my memory, I tell you, being left alone. I do feel sorry for my wife a little bit. I think that she was probably under tremendous stress, needing to help me with a huge amount of everyday tasks that to me weren't even visually there. Like all my paperwork, for example. The amount of paperwork that I've had to do to re-establish myself at a new address and change all my details is overwhelming. And now that I think about it, I've probably only done half of the changes of addresses, and without the help from the NDIS, I need to remember to pull out all my ID cards, driver's license and so on, and Medicare, and I need to update my address, which I've only just thought of now for the first time after being here for, they've told me 3.5 weeks, but it feels like 16 days to me. It's a bit freaky. I'm very intimidated by the way I'm getting worse at remembering time as time goes by. And I've done it again, gas bagging. Sorry guys. I'll try again for the second time to give you updates for the subscribers which are posting positive comments and they're helping me out. I'll try to remember some of the answers to the problems and questions that have been surrounding me in the last few videos. There's been a couple of positives lately. Okay, first positive. The arsehole that kicked me out and made me illegally homeless. He was taken care of by a woman from NDIS. We'll just call her Amanda. That's not her name. And Amanda said to the guy, no, you can't do that. You've got to come up with some stuff. So she told him what the laws were, and he chucked her something like $1,300 of my original money. That's the remaining week in which I was meant to be living there, which he kicked me out immediately illegally. And she got him to come up with the full 100% return of the 4 weeks in advance rent that I'd paid for. So I got something like $1,300, somewhere like that, returned to me, which went into my bank account that had like $3 in it, because this is the toughest way I've lived in several years, and it will take a bit of getting used to. And then I get my support pension money from the government before things start getting chomped into taking it out, and I got to see the number $2,000 in my bank account for a split second. That was some form of help with self-esteem, but of course it's not $2,000 for very long, and it needs to go places. But it was good to look at that. So at very least I got my money back from this arsehole landlord, and there's one thing ticked off of many, thanks to the NDIS support lady. I'm not happy missing my son every hour of the day, but at least I've got some things. Yesterday, if you watched the previous video, was the most positive day I've had in probably the last 3.5 years of my life, and it wasn't all that much. It was pretty simple. All I did was went to the local community centre and just take part for about the 2nd or 3rd time, can't remember, you get the idea by now. Subconscious suggestion feeling of going there about 2 or 3 times, but I can't remember because of the extreme short-term memory. And yeah, that was the most happiest time in like a number of years, and it was just hearing people chat around me in the background while I've got my big men's shed back and using tens of thousands of dollars worth of power tools to build. I love woodwork, I love metal, welding, and I'm just making the base for my next painting. It's been a while since I showed my paintings in these videos, so I'll pause it and I'll show you very quickly my paintings so you get the idea if this guy's a retard and he just does stick figures, or if he is actually this claimed professional painter. You can judge in the comments down below if you think my paintings are crap, or if you think my paintings are amazing and I am a professional painter or not. Let's go have a look. I'll just show you one or two very quickly, because I have to go back to the men's shed right now at 9:30 and continue distracting myself with volunteer work and giving myself tasks so I don't have another mental breakdown missing my son that my wife is illegally keeping away from me with false claims that need thousands of dollars to clean them up. Okay, so here is my first picture, and people might think this just looks like a whole bunch of crap dots up close, but when I walk away you'll magically see what it is. I'm not sure, but can you see what it looks pretty clear to me on the phone. If you have a gigantic TV, this might look messy and just dots everywhere. But if you go away, it becomes quite clear what it is. Can you work out what it is? I think if you're watching it, they say 90% of people watch stuff on their mobile phone these days. If you're watching it on a little mobile phone screen, it should look pretty clear. You should be able to see exactly what I'm painting. Instead of just looking at my ugly knob in that painting, I'll show you one more of something beautiful. Okay, this is my favourite painting that I've done since getting back into my art. It's just about 160,000 dots. And it's of my favourite idol artist. His name is Chuck Close. The reason why he's my idol artist to kind of, I won't say copy, but you get the idea, to follow in ideas with, is because he painted in short, like his gigantic paintings were so vastly detailed, everyone had to come up to them with their nose, and they thought that they were enlarged photographs because his paintings were so spectacularly detailed, even with little tiny lines in the skin, like fingerprints and stuff, age lines. They thought that his paintings were photographs, but they weren't, because he was that amazing. But he came down with an illness, and his disability was practically quadriplegic, and he wanted to kill himself and not live anymore. And then he restarted himself with a form of painting like what I just showed you. And that made me idolize him as a way, when they chopped up my brain tumor and my disability was incredibly severe in 2002, that I should copy in that guy's footsteps and try to rebuild myself. So here's my painting again. This is my favorite one of the artist that inspires me, Chuck Close. When we're close, Chuck Close, you can't see anything, but if I come back, now we can see quite great detail that it looks, I think, very, very sharp. It looks just about like a photograph in weird colors. So what do you think? Do you like that painting? I think that one's pretty good. Do you think I'm full of shit and I can't paint and I'm not a professional artist? Or do you think that is a professional artist painting? Last thing, do you see how if you look really close down here with the cigarette coming out of his mouth, that when I'm close you can't even make out the cigarette, and you 100% can't see the trail of smoke coming up the side of his face? But if you let your eyes focus blurry on the overall picture, you can even see the stream of smoke coming up and interfering with his glasses. So this looks like nothing, and you can't see that those dots are the trail of smoke. But then when I come back, can you now see the trail of smoke coming from his cigarette? So pause it, post your comments and let me know, did you think this guy with a disability is crazy, full of shit, or is he actually good at painting? Hope I get the right sort of comments. Alright, I have 1 hour until the community woodwork thing can continue on, and I'm trying to make 2 more frames for my next 2 paintings. I do 2 at a time because this house is so freaking cold, it takes so long for the paint to dry in winter that I can't just sit around waiting 4 days for each time I do a layer of colors for it to dry. I have to have a second painting to go to. Do this for 4 days, let it harden, dry, then do this one for 4 days, and keep going back and forth. I'll put these paintings away. It's quite important to me, I've already said it twice, but please post a comment about my paintings. Go back, have a look, pause it, and tell me, do you think I'm full of shit that that's just an average Joe painting? Give me a score out of 10, or do you think that that is professional artwork or not? Please post me a comment. Other things in my life aren't so much important at the moment, but I am very interested to find out if people think what my level of painting is out of 10. I would try and be humble and give myself a 6, thinking I'm at least a little tiny bit above average person that sells paintings because of the weird way in which it's presented. So now you know a bit more why my shirt is so messy. Not so much from any form of poor hygiene standard, but more in relation to my painting. The amount of things that's happening to me in my life at the moment is very mentally overwhelming. I don't do drugs and alcohol, but I definitely do coffees. I am actually very lucky, I think, in the community that's around me at the moment. The people I'm surrounded by great surprise, are very social, talkative to everyone in all these houses surrounding me. Yeah, quite nice, more than above average where I've lived in my lifetime. Okay, two positive things that have happened to me I'll try to say quickly and then go. My videos are always too long. I always want them to be 10 minutes, and all my ramble with my memory, it's insane. It's already 16 minutes, I've got to pause. I've forgotten what I was going to say again, for fuck's sake. Okay, I remember. For the subscribers that have been giving me positive comments and wishing me good luck and all the best and giving me their own life examples of struggles that they've had, which has all helped me a great deal, thank you guys. I will say the two things that I've forgotten again for the second time. Short-term memory, man, it's a nightmare. Two positive things have happened to me that I should be thankful for, and it's been really good lately. Well, one, the bank account, the arsehole landlord chucking the money back in. What else is there? Community centre, socialising with people as much as possible has made me feel much less anxiety and stress. And where's the two big ones? Ah, yes, there's a third thing, a big thing, is, I won't say who, because I want to see if they live up to it or not, but someone linked to myself has heard from my NDIS worker that I'm not going too good, and I am, well, just finished my mental breakdown in relation to my son's 4th birthday and not seeing him for 2 years, with my wife making false claims and taking advantage of my intellectual disability to file paperwork that I've had no understanding how to reply to, and have not lost all full custody and rights, forfeited illegally in my opinion, to my wife, with the government providing me with a lawyer and an advocate that's meant to care for me, but the advocate did nothing whatsoever. She is disgusting and she should get in trouble and lose her job. She did nothing whatsoever to communicate with me, to give me any form of information what was coming from the court case. Told me nothing, absolutely nothing. Just wait for a next appearance, wait for a next appearance, we're getting an adjournment, wait for a next appearance. Now, I don't think they even had these adjournments. I reckon they just took me as an idiot, and the advocate and the lawyer just did the appearances all on their own and didn't even want me there to see how quickly they were just forfeiting my rights in a technically legalized way, against my will, I'll add, to give all my rights of my child that I'm an excellent above average parent to my wife. It's nuts. Yeah, so, sorry, number 3. That's the positive thing. Someone linked to me, which they haven't done it yet, so I'm not going to say their name or what it is, but they've, in full, but they've offered to fork out some money for me to come off of this shit long waiting list of never seeing my son again, due to things that a person that is average on disability support pension would never be able to afford, and that's forms of cleaning up wife's illegal false claims with assessments. And it's disgustingly rude. I can't believe not only is one a stereotypical mental assessment, which I think I can begin to take for the safety of the child, but then the next one they're suggesting, I think they said parenting? Are you for real? How on earth did my wife ever say something to display that I'm even suggestively not an excellent dad? That's disgusting. Again, it's probably my wife making up endless false claims about myself, of false examples of being a terrible parent, and my shit lawyer and advocate just not responding to it in any way, making me look like I'm just admitting to it. When speculation is cast on one side and you don't reply to it in court, you just look terrible automatically, even if it's all unproven, unestablished false claims. So that's the tip I gave in my last video. If you're one of the guys out there that had your girl, because she's nothing but a woman, have all of your rights forfeited to your children to give to her, and the guy has nothing, do not trust your cheap, free government lawyer who says, don't worry about it, we'll do it next time. Don't worry about it for now, we're busy with something else. Fuck them. If you hear a claim from your wife, ask your lawyer if they'll help you reply to the claim professionally in great detail. You need to. If they don't, which they probably will say, they'll say, sorry, we don't do that, or sorry, we're not funded enough to spend that much time with you, government money, or sorry, we're not doing that now. We'll just wait until it expires and then we'll say, sorry, it's too late. We're not doing that now, sorry. We're not doing that now, sorry. Hi, can I defend myself to my wife's false claims? No, we're not doing that now, Danny, sorry. Just wait a bit later. Can I reply to my wife's claims now after 1.5 months? No. After 6 months? No. After 8 months? No, we're not doing that now. We're not doing that now. We're not doing that now. And then after 10 months, oh, we just forfeited all your rights of your son to your wife. You don't see him anymore for now what is over 2 years. What about me replying to my wife's false claims? Oh, that's past. We can't do that anymore. That's kind of expired. For real? So you get the idea. Don't trust your goddamn lawyer, guys. Don't listen to anything they say. Anything the lawyer says, golden rule. Get them to send it to you again, confirming what they just spoke to you in an email. Because if they send an email, it's a form of evidence and document proof of what they've said. So they won't bullshit you. If it comes out their mouth, ignore it. Just let it go in one ear and out the other and say, that's nice. Can you send to me what you just said in an email? Then you know they have to tell the truth. And the second biggest piece of advice I can give in the way I lost custody of my son to try and protect other guys from their women taking their kids away from them. Number 2 is give your lawyer a mountain of stuff to prove that you're an excellent dad and your parenting capabilities and the house you live in and stuff. Don't wait for your lawyer to tell you you need it. They never will, because they don't care. They only have to legally, forcefully, they have to represent you, but they don't have to do a good job. They don't have to ask you questions. They don't have to provide a detailed response to claims. They don't have to provide one single counterclaim. Do you get the idea? They can, but they're not going to do it unless you make them. So that's my second biggest form of advice is, don't believe your lawyer. Don't trust what they say is the first number 1. Trust your instincts. Do some research online. Ask your family members and friends to help you understand your legal rights. That's the biggest number 1. Don't just listen to your lawyer. Ring up free legal helplines and ask the questions. If you have suspicions that your minimum legal rights are being forfeited, ring up and ask. And number 2, the hugest one, forgot again with my short-term memory, let me pause it. Oh yeah, duh. And the second one, provide a mountain of your own ideas of claims and, more importantly, evidence to counter-reply to the false claims. What I know I should have done now and you should do is, if a woman is suggesting that you're a bad parent, go dig up all those videos and pictures you may have, or even emails and texts that you would send between you and your partner to display what a loving, great dad you were. And I know now it's too late. Things like me looking after my son, and because I was scared of my wife and predicted she would make false claims, I defended myself by about once every 3rd hour of every single day while my son was in my care. I would film him waking up, and I would look at the clock in my video and show that he's been woken up at 8 a.m. punctually, or 7 a.m. every single day on the dot. And then I would send a very short 20-second video to my wife, and then I would send a video to her showing that he's having an excellent breakfast that's nice and healthy. Then I would send a video showing that we're going down to the public library and we're borrowing a toy and we're going to sit down and read books. And then I would send a midday video of him having his nap at 2 p.m. precisely, each and every day consistently. And then we'd wake up and go for a big bike ride somewhere, or we'd get in the car and go to a playground that's new, and just to show that you're the role model parent. And I'd show myself putting him to bed, and I'd show in the videos he stereotypically doesn't want to go to bed, but I'd record myself on video being a great dad that makes him want to go to bed for the big day tomorrow. Having great psychological skills with the child and understanding how to make the child happy to be obedient and to abide by great ways of living. And most stereotypically, as one example, when you and your child go food shopping, of course the child is meant to be bored out of their brain. How would you feel if you have to sit in a trolley when you're under 4 years of age and do nothing, and mum and dad are going to sit in a shopping centre for 50 minutes? It's so boring. They have to want to grab the bananas and the toys in the last aisle and throw things around and stuff like that and play with things, interact. That's normal. So what I do with my son that I recorded in the videos, which I would send to my wife with predicted idea that she would try to beat me up in court and claim that I'm no form of a good parent at all, which I'm not a bad parent, I'm an excellent parent. I would say to my son like, JJ, Daddy's an adult and we do shopping and you're a little boy, but I don't think you're a baby anymore. Do you think you're a baby, JJ? And he'd be like, no, are you a big boy, JJ? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm a big boy, I'm a big boy. So then I'd use this reverse psychology, and I'd say, when the adults go, like mummy and daddy, to the shopping centre and we buy stuff, it's a little bit boring, isn't it? And he just like, and I say to him, and you just sit in this trolley, and it's really boring, isn't it? You don't get to do anything, no fun and games. And he's like, yeah, it's boring. And I said, if you're a big, smart, big boy, like an adult, I got a challenge for you. Do you want to try and do the adult challenge? You can do what daddy has to do? And he's like, yeah. I said, okay, I'll see how smart you are. Daddy has to get 2 bananas and 4 apples. Can you help me find the 2 bananas and the 4 apples? And then he's occupied and stimulated, and he's like, yeah, this is awesome, food shopping at Coles. So I push my trolley past the items and play dumb, and I'm like, where's the bananas? I can't find them. And then of course the little boy's like, oh daddy, look, they're right there. And then I went, oh, I can't remember, how many do we need? And he's like, oh, I remember, daddy. I nearly forgot, what did I say, 2 bananas, 4 apples? He'd be like, 2 bananas, daddy. And I'd be like, really, you sure, are you sure? Yeah, 2 bananas. And then he's like, look, 4 apples over there. So I'll stop making you dizzy. Do you get the idea? I think my parental capabilities are far beyond that of an average person, and I'm not this bullshit fake person my wife makes me out to be. I'm very involved and devoted to raising what I wanted as old-fashioned 5 or 6 kids very heavily, and what my wife has done to me in not even allowing herself to leave me and just continue her own life with someone else if she wishes to do that, but I still wear the wedding ring because that's my life promise, not because I'm stalking her or because I need to pursue her or anything like that, or wait for her psychotically until she changes her mind. I honestly don't care. If a woman doesn't have enough respect to want to be with me, I'm not going to pursue them. I know that they need to have the idea that their male partner, stereotypically old-fashioned wise, is smart, intelligent, powerful, and the woman wants them to be the leader. If a woman doesn't want the man to be the leader and doesn't want the man to be who he is, then she does not have enough respect for him, and he is suggestively not good enough for her. So I'm not chasing her. She can come find me, and when my wife comes back to me, possibly one day, she will have a lot to prove to myself for breaching my rights and all these illegal things, kicking me out of home, keeping 100% of our assets, and our child like this. It's brutal. I have nightmares missing my son. So anyways, did you get the idea? I'm not full of shit. I'm an excellent parent, and I have high skills in understanding how to engage with children, and when they're naughty, what to do and what not to do. Things that I think the vast majority of parents in Australia do not understand and is brain dead. I'm far above that, and it's insulting that I have to do a parenting course as a suggestion to get my child back, to prove I'm not full of shit. I'll give you 3 more examples and I'll get going. This video is going way too long. One example, if your child is naughty, you never raise your voice, you never point with aggression. No! You never do that. You always have, because that just scares the child, and they're more worried about if you're going to hit them or something, or the pointing even, with the aggressive face. The child is more worried about that than paying any form of attention to what you're talking about that they've suggestively done wrong. So if you're not confident with your parental skills, here's first big advice. When your child does something wrong, you need to, number 1, come down to a lower level of eye contact so that you're not suggestively standing over them, powerful, heavy and threatening, and get down on your knee, maybe one knee, and I get my son to stand up when he's sitting on the ground in the carpet playing with Matchbox cars or something. Get him to stand up, and then I sit down, or I'm on one knee so that his head is actually slightly above mine so he does not feel weak and overpowered. And I then look at his hands and see if he's holding or interacting with any toy or a task, and that distracts them from listening to you. So you get them to stop what they're doing, stop touching their bicycle, stop playing with the Matchbox cars, take it out of their hands, or ask them respectfully, can you please put the Matchbox car down on the ground? Thank you. Okay, now look at Daddy's eyes. Daddy's talking to you. It's important. Can you please stop? Stop. Thank you. Okay, look at Daddy's eyes. Okay, and then you give what you want, and you say, now Daddy said you need to go to bed soon. It's 2 p.m. and we're going to have the nap. And then the child will say, no, 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 don't like this, I hate you, whatever. And you just say positive and no form of emotion, so the child knows that you're powerful, but you're not angry, you're not happy, you're just normal. And I would say, no, 2 p.m, see on the clock, that's when we have to go to sleep. So we're going to go to sleep now. You don't ask, you tell. We're going to sleep now. And if you're a good boy and you give them the idea that if they cooperate, they're going to get something, a reward for cooperating. If you're a good boy and you go to sleep really quickly, we can wake up and go somewhere exciting I'm thinking of. We can have more fun playing games. And then he's like, oh, yeah. So quick, let's go to sleep as quickly as possible. Now you're saying that in a challenging form of way the child enjoys. Children love challenges. Just like on Super Nanny, if you ask a child to do something, it's boring, it's just words. But if you put this picture to life, or a reward chart showing that every time they're well behaved, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they start visually progressing their way up a mountain or a castle or something like that, and at the top is a big star of achievement, and they get to pick where they go to play or something like that. The child doesn't understand that them picking where to go play isn't really anything, and the parent could have been, from the beginning, first step one, willing to take them there in the first place. But if the child feels themselves that they have accomplished climbing up the mountain or the castle with the progressive steps on the fridge, and they made the choice that they were making their mum and dad take them to the playground, like our magnificent St Kilda playground in South Australia, the child believes that they're powerful, the child believes they're happy and they're in charge. And the children love being leaders. Every single child, when they're born, they want to be a leader one day, and they want to be like their parents, their role model. So I'll go now, but do you get the idea? I have great parenting skills, and I understand how to have no form of violence, no form of smacking. I do the naughty corner, equivalent to the year of their age. So if they're 4 years old, they'll sit in the naughty corner for 4 minutes. No form of aggression or upset, just straight face. JJ, you are naughty. I asked you to, I asked you to stop and listen to me. You didn't listen to me. So now sadly, you have to go sit in the naughty corner for 4 minutes. And when we're finished, we'll see if you remember what you do next. And children don't like time wasting, they love having fun, and they automatically respect their parents, which are their role models, no matter how well behaved or aggressive they are from a poor way in which they could have been raised originally. And if you live in a bogan suburb like Salisbury or Elizabeth and your parents are a nightmare, go watch some of that Super Nanny and learn the basic idea of the naughty corner, and reflection upon their 5 minutes for their 5 years of age example, and how even the world's well-behaved or the world's most rugrat terrible children enjoy being given responsibility and respect. If you give your child responsibility and respect of that of a young adult, like helping do the food shopping, they have so much more fun and respect for you. So, did that prove enough or what, guys? I'm not a terrible parent that my wife claims. I'm an excellent, above average parent who believes in smacking is unintelligent and not necessary in any situation imaginable, and many other things. But the video has already gone for 35 minutes just about. I need to get ready. I need to stop talking and have a coffee. Okay, so that's it. I'll go now. I need to have my shower and pack my car full of stuff for woodwork, race down to the community centre that I'm trying to involve myself in so that I'm not insane, staying at home, rotting, missing my kid. I keep talking to every single person around me about assistance I can receive in getting some basic beginner job to start earning some cash, to get more respect from a judge, to have more likeliness to get my rights returned, to have my son. And I told you earlier in the video, there's a person who, I won't say who because they haven't done it yet and they're not very reliable, is suggesting to my NDIS worker that they might help with the big bill of thousands of dollars. I think it's $4,000 to take a shortcut to have rich people quick assessments to get my son back that I otherwise could sit rotting for 6 months or 1.5 years on a bullshit waiting list that many men sit on with the government not caring, and the waiting list is tremendously underfunded and makes it take forever and makes a lot of dads just forfeit and give up on their rights to see their children again. It's disgusting. There's so many laws in South Australia, Australia as a one, that need to change. That's my closing thing. Laws need to change to give the father equal rights of today's modern age with the woman. The man isn't the stupid, unemotional, aggressive, smacking truck driver that he used to be in the past, in the 70s or something. And the woman is not the automatic unemployed stay-at-home wife who is breastfeeding and the only one that can raise children anymore. Days have changed. In today's modern world, we need the 50-50 level of respect and odds of a man, the father, husband, getting sole custody of the children should be equal to that of a woman, I think. Times need to change. Alright, I've got to go for my woodwork. See you guys, and again, a huge thank you to the vast majority, about 24 out of 25 people posting positive comments, only 1 or 2 assholes so far, being incredibly rude, trying to poke me, I think. And one of the dipshits that posted the rudest comment I've received so far of 3 paragraphs, he subscribed. So what the fuck, man? Seriously. If I'm so terrible, why just subscribe? And everyone else's comment is very nice, supportive and positive. And I keep getting the occasional highly detailed comments of a stereotypical guy of different ages saying about he's going through the same thing as myself. So to those guys out there, if you posted me a comment and you're one of those guys, we'll call you Jason. Jason, yes, I'm not the only one, of course. You are going through the same thing as well. I just hope that if I'm sacrificing my dignity and privacy making these videos, and they're not for attention seeking or any idea of making money, I hope that I can solve my problem, or you can see my mistakes that I make, and I hope I can save all you guys that have your kids taken away from you just because of your gender and forfeited to the woman. I hope that I can help you guys save a lot of time and get back in contact with your children for you to love them again and go out and have fun as soon as possible, learning from the things that I did that were successful and the things that I did that wasted 2 years of my life in pain. And I hope you guys don't go through the same pain as short as possible. Alright, see you guys, love yous all, and look after each other, stay safe, and don't trust whatever a lawyer says. Whatever a lawyer tells you, the exact opposite, and I'm not exaggerating, is highly more accurate for me than what they said. If they said something's quick, it took forever. If they said something will take forever, it just didn't even happen. Alright, love yous all, protect yourselves, help your friends out. If everyone supported one another, there'd be no such thing as these problems. Love yous all, bye.